Okay guys, welcome. Hello out there. Alrighty guys, let's kill this music, kill the countdown clock. Let's get this show on the road. Alright, well, to the five of you, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening. This is going to be a good one. Hope you guys are doing well, appreciate you. Yeah, so hope you've all had a good week. Been a quiet one. Personally for me, just the two trades on that one particular stream. So one win and one loss for the week so far. But we'll see what we can come up with to conclude. Again, I won't be on tomorrow, so this will be the last stream for the week. So we'll see what we can come up with moving forward today. Let's quickly have a look at the news. So off the back of yesterday's news with CPI release, obviously had the dollar gaining some strength off the back of that. So obviously the majors and gold still continue to pull back, big pullbacks on those. Moving forward today, nothing as far as our session, nothing that will, unless there's any breaking news. But moving forward into NY, just after the open, we've got PPI, which and unemployment claims. So that's also going to be something that needs to be paid attention to. And you've also got later on the Fed chair speaking, which is early morning my time. So let's see guys, anyway, nonetheless, what we can come up with. And now we will do what we do best, that's analyze charts and look for some quality entries. If you could guys, hit like button. Be great if someone could just say good morning or good day or hello or anything. Could even say anything if that's what you want to say. And let's get the show on the road. So looking at GJ and now looking at the current weekly candle, seeing we are into the Thursday. So now I'm paying attention to the actual direction and the strength of the current weekly candle. And what we can see is it is forming a bullish candle and quite a strong bullish candle. So once again, based off that, what I could be looking for is what levels we have within that candle that we could potentially pull back to, or method of support and head back up towards the high, or potentially break those levels and come back down to the next level. Looking at the daily time frame, what I can see in the daily is we're technically bullish. We are bullish in structure. Not only that, we've got candle probabilities to the upside. So we've got high low, high high to that previous candle which closed bullish at support. And this really this translates across the board on all different time frames. If this was a 30-minute time frame, I mean, we'd be looking for buys above this resistance here. So same thing kind of applies on the daily. Obviously what we will do is go down within that candle and see what we may need to wait for in order to look for that particular entry above the high there. So we're going to mark in the resistance here to the left. We know we are bullish, and we know we have higher high, higher low on the candle probabilities on the daily time frame. Onto the 4 hour, and we do remain bearish in structure. As we can see, we've bounced off that support, and that horizontal lines up with a resistance here to the left. So we are going to include that as a zone, and we can currently see we are hard pressed against the actual resistance. We've not yet tapped into it, but we are very close to doing so, currently rejecting it. So with 4 hour structure being bearish at the resistance, this could be potential optimal levels to look for sell options from. Above it, like we see, we could be options for the buys above that. Let's just move this further to the left. All right, looking at it to the upside, kind of hoppy to the left, to be honest, above the high. So I mean, based off that, for the buys above, so the buys above, you really need to see a nice clean candle, to be honest, clean cut through all that mist to the left. And then look for the deeper the impulse, the better. Then look for the pullback, support to form, and then look for the potential buys if that was to be the case for the buys above. So I'm not actually going to put buys above in just yet. I just need to wait and see how price approaches that level. As we can see on the 30-minute, structure wise, we are bullish, and what we are doing though is consolidating up near that resistance. Just below the resistance, we have formed support on the M30, lines up with some previous resistance here to the left hand side. So as we know, if we were to continue bullish, seeing this is the most recent support we have formed within the current daily candle, then there is not much of a need for us to actually begin to pop below support and head back down. So therefore, if we do begin to pop below it, below it on the 30-minute time frame, that is my catalyst to start looking for the counter trend M30, the counter trend daily and weekly. But as I mentioned, looking at the weekly, we're looking to see what levels we've got support at. Those levels are likely to hold if we were to, would hold if we are to continue bullish and create higher highs within the weekly. And if those levels fail, then what we're likely to do is come back down to the next level. So you could drag this up to that 197.50. So there's possibly enough margin for the sell option below 197.690. Now, having said that, if we can't get into sells, there's going to be buy options from lower down, because so long as we remain above this blue zone, above the lows of the blue zone, we're technically still bullish in the M30. So we can also look for our catalyst for potential buy options from lower down. And obviously, if you just drag this down a little bit below 197.30, basically they've got some more clean traffic for further sell options as well on GJ. So good news is we're at a level of interest, and if we do reject, we could get some options to sell it quite soon. So that is GJ, and I hope that made sense, guys. And let's move on to check out gold. So again, for the buys above, needs to just let it create a bit of a move to cut through that mess, because it could reject any of these wicks. This is really the one big zone. All right, so on to gold. Actually, one more thing on GJ. If we bounce off this support, pop up only to reject, we may be able to look for sells below. Possibly sells below that resistance. So we'll put it in. And now we can move on to have a look at the gold. So still selling off in a big pullback phase at the moment, which is very healthy. Been in a massive uptrend for a long time now. So looking at the weekly and opposites GJ, we're going to look to see which levels we could pull back to form potentially resistance at, and look for continuation sells back down to the low and potentially create a lower low. So they're going to be the options, either below the low or upon the pullback for the sells. And like I mentioned on GJ, if we begin to break up more, in this case break above as opposed to below the most recent swing points or any swing points, then there's a high probability what we will do is head back up to the next swing point a little bit higher up. Strong bearish on the weekly. Daily, apologies guys, daily, if you guys remember from yesterday, we were at a support here to the left hand side, tapping into it. We did reject. We have now bounced and tapped, well not bounced, we've tapped into, we're currently right down into the lows of this daily zone. So at a higher time frame, support makes it not the easiest to sell it, but we're going to see once we go down to the 4 hour what sort of options we may have. We've got counter probabilities to the downside on the daily time frame. So as far as resistance, we're going to mark that in. Most recent support, we can see we're currently at a level here to the left hand side. Below it, we have some very clean price actions, very clean traffic. So it looks like we're likely going to get options below 25.46, but we'll see on the 30. I think there's a little level just to the left of that. So technically bearish again. It's going to be bearish across the board, but we are at a daily support. So yeah, what do we want to see? Well, 30-minute is also bearish. Now the interesting thing is we may not have to wait all that long for it to flip back bullish. A closure above this point here, it's the most recent swing point, and 2 more consecutive candle pullback in the opposite direction to the trend, and that lines up with this 26.65 roughly. So if we start to close above that point there, then definitely got some sort of catalyst to look for a potential option to buy it. Just one moment guys, just one moment. I need to answer this call very quickly. Apologies. Okay, apologies guys. So looking at once again on the 30, the good news is we could be potentially flipping the structure not well, quite soon. We don't have to go all that far to flip the structure, bouncing off the 4-hour and daily support. So that would be our catalyst to start to look for potential buyers, and I just want to start to trust the buyers, considering this weekly candle is forming a very strong bearish candle. So once again, looking within the weekly candle, that's the most recent swing point. We break above this swing point, close above it, retest it, pull away from it, we're likely going to head up towards that 25.74, potentially 25.80, before we could potentially reject again and head back down. Let's see if we can just neaten up this zone just a little bit. Tough one, to be honest, because as soon as you break one support, you're running straight into another support. Yeah, just gonna use that for the time being. Let's measure it below it. Below, you got about 30 pips to the next level, so I'm just gonna mark that in for horizontal, and there could be earlier potential sells below the support here at 24.58.64, but we'll need to be cautious with it because these candles once again have a lot of volume right now, and we are in a big now, well, again, technically downtrend. If you'd ask me what I think of gold, I think it's still very, very bullish personally, but right now I'd rather look for the sell options. So further sell options would be upon the pullback, guys. If price does reject, pull back, and create any lower high within the range below 25.65, basically, we could also look for the sell options. I'm really not liking this zone. But the thing is, it's a daily to 4 hours, so there's not really all that much we can do with it. So that is my opinion of gold, guys. Hopefully it made sense. If it did, make sure to hit the like button. Focus for now, likely. Yeah, well, I prefer to trade gold. GJ is just consolidating, so just remove that, seeing it's miles away. Can I make it any deeper, the zone? Not really. I mean, I'd use the 15-minute. Yeah, I'll just do that. All right, so the sells below as well, guys. That's something we definitely would consider. It did pull back to reject. All right, so who have we got here today? The couple who have made the effort to say good morning. Dace, good morning to you. Carl, good morning to you. Franco, good morning, mate. I hope you guys are well. And to anyone else in the chat, I hope you guys are all well. Don't be shy. Beats, my friend, I hope you're well. Good morning. Luke, good evening to you too, my friend. Ben KC, good morning. Luke, you're assuming that you might be in some crypto at the moment, so you're probably pretty happy about it. Bitcoin still hovering around that 90k, so unbelievable, isn't it? It's definitely got my attention a little bit, some of these odds personally. Not a fan of XRP, but I kind of get why people are talking it up, and logically I think this could pump at some point, because first of all, it's beat the SEC was one thing. That's a major thing. They beat the law. Well, not quite, but I think they pretty much did. I think it's fair to say. Not only that, it's for the average retail trader, it's one of the coins that they probably would have heard of and will probably ape into when FOMO kicks in. Plus, it's a It's a on ramp or to what is it? To sending money, I think that's what it's predominantly used for, at a very quick pace. So So that's my just logical opinion of it. Not that I like it, but I reckon I might even ape into it soon, to be honest. Ethereum is obviously another one. I'm assuming that's starting to pump. Not really. Yeah, actually it has. It's pumped like $600 in a week. What's that, about 30%, I think? Anyway, back to gold and GJ, guys. To the members, here is the link, by the way. Alright, so we definitely need closures. There is no impulse entry once again. We saw yesterday coming from consolidation. Price can do some funny things. Not interested. Oh, okay, skip. All right, so basketball, what's that saying for us today? Nothing as far as high impact news at the moment. Nothing for us to really worry about. AUD sensitivity to US policy and global trade tensions is sensitive to anything. It just keeps dropping every time it moves up a little bit. Let's quickly look at some of these majors. So EU, they're all dropping either way. I mean, this is really dying. I don't have the data to the left. Let's look at the 4 hour. At a very strong level of support. That's the only thing. But we know we're bearish across the board. So without actually drawing in zones and that, what I'd be looking for is just price to pull back to around at 105,670 and look for rejection for a potential sell. At that point, structural flip bullish, but the issue is you've got some pretty choppy traffic to the left. There is no real margin to next resistance. You're possibly going to need to wait for options, I would say, above that 105,760. You might be able to get about 10-15 pips to the next level. I'm assuming GU, AU will be very similar. GU is also at a very strong support. Very similar, all very similar gold as well. So many catalysts wouldn't present until you flip the structure. Again, same as EU, the issue is no margin. So the best options for GU is just look for buys above 127 260 or sells below it, really, anywhere below it. So how's the week been going, guys? I hope you've had a good one. High punch today. Anyone currently in a trade? If that's the case, let's do us a favor, guys. Get the chat rolling just a little bit. Anyone currently in any trades? Anyone care to share how the week's gone so far? DJ breaking. Oh, nothing yet. Yeah, same as me, just waiting. Light week. Yep, likewise.
Morning.
Roberta, good morning to you. How are you?
All good.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. There's a possibility that I might be down in Melbourne in New Year.
Oh, wow. How long for?
Yeah. I don't know. I might do 1 month, I might do 3.
Okay, 3 months. Wow. Is that just stretching a little bit too far? 3 months in Melbourne.
Oh,
Could think of better places. Look, it's okay, Melbourne. That's, I don't know. I suppose
Where are you located in Melbourne?
I'm in not far from the city. I'm in Caulfield, so
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah, around the Bayside.
If I come, definitely like the focus is to get on top of this. So you and I might have one-on-ones.
No problem. Just let me know, and we'll sort times out and that. So obviously, I got the break, probably for about 2.5 weeks or so over New Year's, Christmas, but I'll still be working with the members. That's the testing phase. That's when we're gonna go hell-bent testing, probably 4 times a week, roughly, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so, but I mean, we can, yeah, work around something. Sounds good.
Cool.
Visiting family?
Yeah.
Visiting, or just
I mean, it's a couple
sea
of
change.
things. Yeah, like one of my friends is she's going away, so she kind of wants me to be in you know, like looking after her daughter. She's you know, like a teenager, but she doesn't really want to leave her by herself yet. So anyway, so I might do that, and as well as just kind of being there, as I haven't been there for a bit, and and I kind of want to just have a place where I can go that's where I can focus as well on this.
Okay, yeah, well, I suppose that's a good thing.
Yeah, it kind of kills a lot of birds with one stone because of the fact that I can stay at my friend's place.
Yeah. Kids aren't kids these days anymore, aren't they? A teenager is, I mean, a teenager is more of a kid than what we were when we were kids. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, this girl's pretty mature. Like my friend is kind of raised her to be relatively mature, but she's still a child. She doesn't want to leave her in the house by herself for 2 weeks.
No, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Funny world, and Melbourne's just typical of it, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like a move has already been made here on gold.
Well, from higher up, I mean, that would have been a decent entry. Had I been on chart, maybe I would have considered it, possibly. But this had already pretty much played out right when I was sending in. Actually, this was before I was sending in, after I sent in the update. But what I did mention was how the good thing is, if we create that lower low just now, which is what we've done, we don't have to wait all that long for it to potentially flip bullish, and we're at a level where it could bounce. So that would be the buy catalyst, closing above, bouncing off the daily and 4-hour support, and that could, you know, lead to a deeper pullback. But looking at the weekly candle, I'd still be looking for the sell options higher up, irrespective of the 30-minute structure. 100%, because at this rate, it's more likely the weekly candle is going to end up closing pretty strong bearish. So I'm definitely more in favor of the sell options. Still could get the options below, and GJ doesn't look bad, especially if this candle closes. Yeah, if this candle closes weak bullish, and sell options are valid on GJ.
Gotcha.
So it's looking like we could potentially get options, but we want it to close weak. I don't want it to close strong, obviously, because the 30 will close then just another weak bearish candle. So the 30 closing closer to its low, closing M15 weak bullish, and then I'd set sell stop once we got a bit of an upward formed on the new candle. That is one option on GJ, and yeah, gold just need to wait for it to set up. Someone's not happy in the background.
Right. Those cells below on gold, right?
Yeah, below here.
Yeah, so would you kind of, because you were talking about this but in reverse the other day, that zone, if that 30-minute candle were to close below the 50% of that zone, would you even enter there, or is it just too risky?
Okay. You mean as a sell, or?
Yeah.
No, because it's still got the support to the left. Still got a clear. That is my concern.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because it's already done it.
If that was just a bearish candle wick, then I could consider options. But the fact of the matter is that, like, I've got to wait for it to set up again, because if I was to look for a sell within this move, I should have been in around here somewhere, in my opinion. Unless the 15 is showing otherwise, which you could argue perhaps here.
Yeah. But
that's above the support. Look, what's the margin like below this candle if it does close weak bullish? About 20 pips. Yeah, it's going to be way too big a stop loss to worry about looking for a sell below this point here, this rate. And it could definitely bounce, because we've got to consider it in that daily support zone now.
Yeah, but look at all that like clean traffic to the left there of that.
Exactly. So I'd argue it's best just to wait for price to get to below that level. You've got a lot of margin below it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah, correct, 100%. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, but would you wait for it to close below the 50% and then go, or you're going to wait till it gets
No, I'd wait for it to get actually into that level, if that makes sense. So to close below 20, close below the lowest point, 25, 48, 66.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be looking at this. knowing that we've got some support here, so I need to be wary of that. And below that, we've got really clean traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a closure below.
Yeah, cool.
That make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's just, I think the other day you were waiting for a closure above the 50% within the zone. And so I was wondering if it, applied here.
Yeah, but this zone's huge. That's the thing. And it's a daily zone as well.
Okay.
It's more so like the zones within the range, like the 30-minute zones within the 4-hour range.
Okay.
Like for instance, if we were bullish and I was wanting to buy it, and we closed, just say that was the 30-minute low of the 30-minute zone, that's the high, and we closed, for instance, above the 50% there, that'd be a strong enough catalyst to look for the impulse entry on the following candle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that happened and I was looking for the buys above that with the structure, so if the structure was already on my side, then I'd consider that valid impulse entry. Very high probability impulse entry.
So if those two candles there, the bullish and the bearish.
Oh, this is just assuming they weren't there. Like that's the zone.
Okay.
So we're assuming like that's the highest point of that's the open and closure, not this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the next one closes above 50% within the zone.
Yep,
and
correct.
Then you're good.
Lower wick and then very high probability. If it creates the upward first, you need to wait for a pullback and then you're entering a bit higher up.
Yeah. Okay, and that is because it's with structure and within a 30-minute zone that's inside 4-hour structure.
Yeah, correct. And they're minor zones. They're not as strong of a zone, so what we find is that they're more probable to break. And if it's with the structure and you are trending, you got a high volume candle prior to it, or you got the catalyst, so closing above 50% within that zone, we know it's a very high probability.
Yeah.
That is like the A+ impulse entry, and I will eventually be doing for you guys, the VIP, an educational video about grading entries, what I believe to be like the premium for each entry type.
Oh, that's great.
The one that might be, it's still probable, but you need to, it probably, I don't know how to word it. It's still probable, but the win rate wouldn't be as good on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, buys from support or whatever with the structure, bullish engulfing is A+. I might give another example, which is maybe a B entry type. So just so you guys know what to look for. But that will take time. That will take I'll probably have to break into each different entry type. Yeah, because I think that will just go forever otherwise. GJ bouncing off this support. Beats Miss Rick. He keeps chat. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Gold is very bearish. We need to look for an opportunity for a good short. Long is a bit risky. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. Longs are risky until that catalyst, which at this rate is very far off. Support just smash the like button. Appreciate you, mate. That would be much appreciated, guys. If we could do that, Sharif, yeah, that would be perfect. The closure above. Yeah, it's all about patience, guys. Yes, it's bloody boring, but it's very, very difficult to find a quality entry at the moment, so we just need to wait. Oh, Sharif, about the categories, yeah. So that would definitely take a bit of time though to do it properly. I don't want to do it half-assed. If I do it, I'll do it. Obviously for each different entry type, what I believe to be the top notch, the best catalyst, and more probable. And what I could do is also put the higher risk, so it's still valid, but with a lot higher risk. So that's how I could do it. Every entry is a risk. It is. The fact of the matter is you're risking cash in every entry. You're trading on a live account. But what I could do is, you know, make up the categories: low risk, medium risk, high risk, or whatever. But it's patience. It is most definitely the key. Sure, if half-assed is okay, we should get some homework. Nah, that's it. I don't do things half-assed. Look, at the moment a little bit because of the fact my brother's away, so that's why I'm obviously not streaming on a Friday. Whereas you guys know, I do stream Monday to Friday, and I didn't go on jump on my call yesterday for the members. I was so tired. I would not have lasted, honestly. I reckon I would have said hello and head would have crashed onto the keyboard. So good news is he's supposed to be back next Wednesday. So that's the case. That means Friday we'll have the normal stream. And we'll moving forward, members, you'll have your NY calls back Tuesday and Wednesday. And sim sessions as well. So during the summer break, or my summer break, winter for a lot of you guys, for the members, I'll come up with a schedule and we'll go to work on the sim, and maybe just look back through the charts as well. And we may I don't know, may stream 1 or 2 on YouTube. Not anyone would probably be interested in a sim session, but still. Alright, so 2.5 minutes left. GJ back above support, so looks like nothing yet on GJ Gold. Trying to respect this daily and 4-hour zone. Yeah, so there's nothing on gold at the moment as well. France, gold possible 25.38 for a drop. I mean, anything is possible. I think if it breaks through, I mean, we've got this level and then we're running into another level a little bit below it. If we start to pop below 25.44, then I think there's a good chance 25.28 is possible, and even as low as 25.10 to potentially end the week. So yeah, anything's possible, but floodgates could really open again if it starts to pop below 25.44. Sure too. Please help me. I am 17 years old. I convert 100 USDT 900. But today I got liquidate. Forgot to put stop loss and left home and got liquidate. Please help me. Mate, if you don't have a stop loss, there's nothing I can do to help you. It's just a reckless way to trade. How could anyone forget to place a stop loss? It's the first thing I'm concerned about before I enter a trade, is where am I gonna put my stop loss. Yeah, exactly, France. Very irresponsible. Alright, GJ. Just keep a little bit of an eye on this. Has to close below 38.2. That's going to close below that support. Ooh. Technically it closed just above it. We've got no upper wick as well. How's the 30 closed? All right, needs an upper wick. This would be good if it actually popped down to tap into low and even pop just below it and then pull back to create the upper wick. Very, very close. Definitely needs the upper wick before I consider it. It's just nuts, it is. Friends, it's okay, bro. We all have our lessons. Important is we learn from those lessons. Exactly right. And if it's money you couldn't afford to lose, then sorry to hear it, mate, but it's part of trading. Always need to have a stop loss before you think about entering. Sure, if I found place stop loss one of the hardest things is in where to place it. Beats always use stop loss and take profit on time. Everyone wants more, but be happy if a night. Well, that's it. All right, guys. So GJ's flipped to create the upper wick. It's really line ball as far as was that a strong, weak enough closure. All right, so what would be the entry and what would be the stop loss? So if you were to look for an entry, you need to enter below the low of the 30. Nice. Oh, nice. E-markets at 670. Spread's a little bit wider at the moment. Well, actually, not too bad. About just under a pip. We'll look at an entry around 655. Runs no risk management, basically just gambling. 100%. That's what it is. It's not be more correct. Stop loss placement. Yeah. Okay. This is when I first started. Yeah. Yeah, well, for me, it was all about, I was swing trading at the time, so it wasn't that difficult to figure that out. But, I mean, scalping, yeah, it's a little bit more difficult, especially coming from a swing trading background. You find it very hard to believe that using the previous candle's high as a stop loss. But then it makes sense when you're only targeting a small a TP as well. Alright, so I've decided with GJ, I want to see a closure on the 15. Because it did technically close above the 38.2, so I want to see the closure now back near the low to look for the sell option. Gold, this is all good. Not interested in buying it just now. But bounce off this level is not a bad thing. If we do pull back, we could get options to sell it from higher up, or it's potentially even buying it. Islamic videos. Gold should buy or sell. Right now, in my opinion, it's very bearish. But I can't just sell it right now. I don't have any confirmation. Plus, it's at support. So, alright. So, going back to entry types and risk. This is high risky, but you could look for a sell just now. Being very technical about it, closed above the 38.2. So. I'm again, based off that, it's going to follow my rules. But you could be in a small entry just now. I think it's definitely worth a small entry if anyone is interested. So you'd have to, the wrong way around, you the entry would have been a couple pips below. I think I said 5.5. I'm not in it, guys. I'm being honest with me, I'm not in this trade. That would be roughly your entry, and that would be roughly your stop loss. Because this is slightly higher risk, because the fact of the matter is it did not close where I wanted. The previous candle did not close where I wanted it to. France, are we waiting? I'm waiting as well. But if you stay in too long, there's a good chance that after your fantastic win, it will go stop loss or worse. Well, that's the other thing too. This happens again and again until you learn to get your TP on time and be happy with it. Well, that's it. Not being greedy. It looks like a hell of a distance below, doesn't it? CAD, it's basically the exact same mess as yesterday. Yeah, forget this, man. All right, watch DJ. Or anyone who may be in a trade, but I'm personally waiting to. I'm seeing it out. Trying to set an example, because what I noticed personally, and I said this in a message to the members last week, was bad starts of the month was due to me trying to bend my rules a little bit, and I did it again on Tuesday. I think it was the first trade. Bent the rules a little bit, got burnt. So the rules are there for a reason. I know they work, so I just need to be patient. And it happens sometimes. We might stray from the rules to try to get involved. I'm not gonna do it again today. I'm just gonna remove that just so no one thinks I'm in a trade. And then what happened after, when I followed the rules, about 2 hours after that loss, we got a nice W. So yeah, bits. I used to have that, and then I had the other one where I used to be nervous when I had profit on the table, and sometimes I get to like 6 pips and nah, I've just closed the whole thing. Or I close like 80% and then let the rest run, and then all of a sudden you're at 30 pips and oh god. Should have just stuck to the original plan and only start securing at minimum of 10. I've been through all that. And like I mentioned, it was only when I realized I was my own worst enemy, I just need to chill and stick to a proper plan. It's when it all changed. Rounds, it usually takes guts to stick to your strategy. Yeah, I mean, now it doesn't, but before it used to. Alright, let's quickly look at gold. Just having a look at my MetaTrader. So we're all back to 15-minute level. really want to adjust this zone a bit. So we know we've got support here to the left. I'm not going to bother dragging it all the way out, but that is low of the support. We know we could look for ourselves below it. Now, based off the most recent move down, if we make this move up just now and reject the 15-minute zone, seeing it's a relatively clean move at the moment to the upside, if we have the margin, we could potentially look for some sells from the current level below 25.60. DJ playing games at the moment, so doesn't look like 15 will close bearish golfing. Still could. All right, so I'm looking for the interruption play. It worked just here, but it was at support here. We've actually got some something to target to the left. It's tapped into the low of that candle, couple candle pullback to the downside, one pause candle engulfed on this candle, price pulled back to tap into the low, rejected. Would have been very minimal drawdown, so I'd be looking for a similar thing in the next 2 minutes. I want this candle to close about 4 to 5 pips, about 5 pips below the low of this bullish candle. And if that was to be the case, I'm going to set a sell limit back at the low of the previous bullish candle, the pause candle. So it's good to see it play out here, but the issue was it was at support, so there was just no, it already tapped in the target. Just the low of that bullish candle, 687. So I'll go around 640. I mean 637 is to be exact. Recently in a comp to win VIP. I've got a couple in mind at the moment. I mean, it's still well up for grabs. There still haven't been a lot of chat in the community group, so get chatting, guys. Start to post some charts and ask questions, or just say g'day, share some ideas. All right, let's go, GJ. A little bit more. Not quite. So once again, this is the high risk entry if anyone's interested, but again, I'm just going to be so strict with the rules, and it did not close strong enough. Very high risk, but your entry would beat a lot of this bullish candle, so you probably been just now. For me, it's not valid. But either way, I hope it works. Definitely hope it works. And if it doesn't, what I want to see is once again a 15-minute close week, and that could be an option at London Open for me to sell it. Roberto, when I wait for another M15 close here. Not near interruption candle. The interruption entry is valid on the 15 and 30. So either time frame. From what I've tested out, it works on both. It will present more on the 15. Obviously, because there's more data. One thing I want to test more of is the 5-minute. But technically, if I was in this, I would be at break even right now because it's flipped bearish, and now it's flipped back bullish, but it did flip bearish, and that is also another rule with this particular entry type. Alright, so what do we want to see on gold? Let's quickly have a look at it. Bearish gold here in 15. That's probably the only way I'll consider it. Yeah, I'm not sure, Roberto, if you got up to that bar in the course, but the interruption section, that is, it's all covered in there. The main time frames are the 30 and the 15. All good. It's in the latter half of the course as well. I think it's towards the end of all the entry types, that section. So we'll take your time with it, and any questions, and this goes for any of the members, you guys, you're welcome to share it in the actual VIP chat, and also you can just DM me and I'd be happy to do a personalized video if need be to explain something in more depth. Not a problem at all. I've done it already for a few people, so I'm more than happy to do it for any of the guys. So if I was in that, I'd be out at break even just now. Yeah, guys, I'll leave it on GJ and I'll be back in 1 minute. Don't go nowhere. Be right back, guys. All right, Beats, if you enjoy watching the stream, smash the like button every time you look at it, today, yesterday, and tomorrow. So support Justin, keep the stream growing. You do that by liking. That's exactly how you do it. Liking and engaging in the chat. So just like yourself, man. I do appreciate it. Every day, more people, more information, more movement in the chat. That's it, win-win. Yeah, it's starting to grow a little bit. Obviously, I want to grow it a lot more, but it will happen in time. So next year will be a big one. See, gold is still trying to pull back, which is all good. I mean, ideally I'd like for it to pull back up to 2650, 2560, 64 roughly, and then see how we react to that zone for options to sell or maybe buy it. GJ is this rate looking not too bad as well. Bitcoin is on the move again. A little bit, I thought it was. Well, actually, let's look at it. The $800 15-minute candle. Tell you what, you'd be having fun if you actually owned at least one Bitcoin right now, just watching it. All right, GJ popping back up. be popping right back into that consolidation. So potentially we just swept some liquidity from the downside. The issue is no way if I got a valid entry within this mess for a buy at the moment. So if that was to be the case again, I just need to wait. Gold, what I mentioned before, is what I want to see. So 15-minute engulfing, and this rate doesn't look like it will happen. Beats really deserve a lot more viewers. The stream has so much value. I'm watching another stream with many viewers and zero value. How is it possible? I really don't understand. Yeah. Look, I understand. It's different strokes for different folks. Some people are just purely after signals, and that maybe I don't call enough trades, so that's fine. But yeah, maybe some people find me annoying as well. That's fine too. Can't impress everyone, so it's just the reality of it. But yeah, I'll eat into the market more. Again, I've got plans for next year, so but I'm just gonna wait until then. I don't want to have like work my way into some solid momentum and then just stop again. I think it would be detrimental, so I'd rather just wait until the new year. Go all out, try to get the numbers up and everything. France, EU, no, I don't trade it. I do look at it for others, but for me, EU, it's at a very strong support, so not easy to sell it into the current level. And there is no catalyst to buy it at the moment, so the catalyst at this stage to buy it won't really occur until closures above this point here. At that point, you're going to flip the 30-minute structure back bullish, bouncing off the 4-hour support. So what I'd be looking for is very similar to gold, and what I mentioned GU before is just pullbacks for rejections to sell it anywhere below. Doesn't necessarily need to pull the way back to that 105.70 roughly. Could even pull back to this previous support. This is another level of interest that we could pull back to form resistance at, but the issue with that is you're likely not going to have the margin to take yourself back down either way. So I just wait for it to pop up higher, and once we do close above, you've got your catalyst to start looking for possible buy options as well. So that is my opinion of EU. Used to swing trade it, but yeah, I've never really scalped it, to be honest. Alright, GJ has to close below. That would be good enough, and that is likely going to be below 38.2 as well. Be right on it. Yeah, so it has to close below. Closes below that blue zone. Upper wick on London Open candle. I'm going to set a sell stop if that is to be the case. So I'm just going to keep a bit of an eye on it. Now a sell stop would be below low. So it'd be about 610 depending on your broker. So I'm just getting the horizontal set up just in case. So the conditions are it needs to close below this horizontal, so below the blue zone, and the new candle has to have an upper wick. So keep an eye, guys. Stop loss will be above the current candle. The new target is the support. Oh, just a little bit lower. It's still valid right here. Well, not here. Come on, drop a little lower. No. I'll value that now is basically back in consolidation. Some consolidation below previous consolidation. Yeah, unfortunately it's not valid, guys. It's just closed a little bit too strong for my liking. So it's closed the M30, a very weak candle. Good chance of break the high of that candle, make a dip, pull back into the consolidation. But again, it's not a confirmation for me to buy it. Gold has closed bullish, so there is still no real confirmation to sell gold at the moment. Again, just a good example of showing patience on the charts. Roberto, you broke recommendations for trading gold. Definitely IC markets. As far as spreads are unbeatable in IC markets. Looking at right now, under a pip, around a pip, between point. It's usually between half a pip and a pip. And I mean, of late, I haven't been really getting slipped to, which is good. So gold, no upper wick. There's definitely no impulse buys here too, guys. Even though it's got no upper wick, it's in too big of a downtrend at the moment. Beats, I do see a difference, and that is that they trade on much riskier time frame, 1 minute, 5 minute. That costs me a lot of money. 15 and M30 is really much. So I agree, mate. I used to, maybe I didn't do it justice though, but about 4 years ago, that was when I first really gave gold a go scalping, and I was based off the 5 minute. And I thought I was hitting a bit for a couple of weeks, and then I got destroyed. Probably about 5 years ago now, actually. So I stopped and I didn't trade gold for a while. Then I realized you can still trade it, but just wait for a strong confirmation, and that is the 15 and 30 for me. Using the other time frames as added confluence in the higher and lower. But yeah, definitely much more probable if you wait for a strong confirmation. But you just have to be a little more patient. That's the thing. You're gonna miss moves for sure, but you're gonna get involved in some more probable entries. That is for sure. France, you're planning to transfer IC markets, just abusing XM, 100% bonus to, oh really? And 20% bonus currently. Fair enough. I'd be doing likewise by those sort of bonuses as well. Up on. It is beast. This looks like it's heading back up to its all-time high again. Bitcoin pains me. I know I've got like 0.000001 or something somewhere on one of the exchanges, but I don't think it's enough to even get it off the exchange. I think it costs more to get it off than what it's worth. Nas pulled back a little bit. Obviously that took off along with Bitcoin. to analyze NAS for during MI session. Gold flipping now, create the upper wick. So once again, how often we see it happen? It's got no wick, in this case to the upside, and it just drops the open with a new candle, and also being session open with volume. How often we see it pop back up? It's a regular occurrence. Never a good thing when you get a message from the ATO. All good. Just remind me, you got to pay my tax for the 21st. Bloody bastards. Let's see on GJ. Have we just pulled back up to this area consolidation above this support just to grab a little bit more liquidity? So once again, we need that strong candle. We need it to close below the body of that bullish candle, if that is to be the case. And we could have options. You're looking around at 18 pip stop loss. So it's less than a 1-to-1, but it could be a lot worse. I'm not as concerned by it because it's not similar to gold where we might have a 40-50 pip stop loss to target 10. It's not that bad a stop loss, 17-18 pips, and then you could also manage it based off the upper wick of the new 15. So it has to close below the body. Again, this is the new rule. As the more data prints, I reassess, and I again want to see, I create some rules as to what I want to see to validate an entry. So in this case, closure below the body, closure below the low, even better. Issue of with it closing below the low, it could close a little bit too far down. We may not then have the margin at all to look for the sell. So I've got to wait just over 4.5 minutes, and that is what I want to see to validate any entry. Alrighty guys, 2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining. It needs to close below the open of that bullish candle, and we've got a valid sell entry on gold. So let's see. Let's have a look. Let's wait just under 2 minutes now and see if it does present. And if not, we'll need to reassess. Very simple. Beats to our trade. It's Tuesdays and it's kept for Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's pre-NY of late, but when I've got the energy, I'm on for a bit longer because it is past midnight my time. Once again, I've mentioned many times now, my brother's been away for a bit, so it means I pick up the slack for the business here. When he's back, which is next week, I have more time, so I don't have to be up as early, and I can chill. So therefore, basically Tuesdays and Wednesdays will be the days where I do pre-NY into NY Open, maybe the first half an hour or so. There's always something going on. Monday is the education session. Thursday I usually do a live update and look just briefly if there is any option presenting at that time. And Friday accountability if anyone is around, and then usually Sundays live market update plus sim sessions. That's pretty much every day except for Friday, depends on the members, and Saturday. They're otherwise pretty much live for each day. All right, so just under 20 seconds. It needs to close below that line. Not deviating from the plan. That's what I want to see. A little bit lower. Come on. All right, has not done that. Not a catalyst. I'm fully aware it could go now without me, but again, that's just not being really strict, trying to set the example. So I miss it. Gold is closed back at the doji candle. There is not yet a confirmation for me to do anything on it. Yeah, again, bearish engulfing is the play on gold right now on the 15. It does present. Yeah, it's just a bit tough. And why with the time changes just now? Well, obviously we've gone into daylight savings time over here in Oz, or Melbourne anyway. So our clocks have gone forward, and you guys have gone backwards. So what used to be at 10 p.m. NY open, which was fine. I had no problems, and I did stay on for up until like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half into the session. It is now after midnight, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I do my best to stay on and help out for a bit. I look a bit of a mess on the 30 as well. Steve, good morning to you, mate. Welcome. All good, Steve. Going at a time when the charts are really messy, to be honest. I haven't found GJ's been tempting. It's looked promising, but it just fails to provide the catalyst that I want to see. Gold is just a bit of a mess at the moment. I mean, could the charts be any more trashy the last 2 London sessions around this time of day? BJ is just not wanting to drop, is it? Just keeps hanging on. Looks very tempted. Looks like it's going to make a move down, but it just keeps hanging on to that support. Gold. Good luck with that at the moment. Someone's going to need to wait for the closure below. And I need to determine whether I've got enough margin if it does close below. But that is the reality of it. The way it is just all over the shop right now. I need a decent close below to consider potential GJ sells. Now what you could do as well, if it does close below, you could even use the 15 minutes of stop loss, and that will give you that 1-to-1. Likely, depending where it closes, obviously, or how far this candle drops at the moment. So that's something I would consider. Jesse? BJ definitely hasn't been fun to trade this week. Yeah, it's just been a mess, and now it looks like it could make the move. Hang on a minute, gold as well. Gold could also present. So we want gold to close basically engulfing. And then what we could say is we're rejecting that 15-minute resistance here to the left, which lines up with some support. It's a strong enough rejection. We've wicked up into it multiple times only to reject. Likely next destination will be back down at the current daily low, but I just need to be patient, wait 6 minutes. Once again, fully aware it could go without me, but I'm not prepared to take it without that confirmation because it's just too all over the shop at the moment. Right. That's a really tough one to answer, guys. Even off the 5 minute. you wait till close below. It's too late. You're getting in just now, so it's a tough one. I've just drawn in horizontal as to where it would need to close below for it to be, and maybe another valid limit order. Thing is, it can't tap into target prior to it, and it looks like it could now do that very shortly. It's only got about 5 pips to move, so we could be focused on gold. I don't think it would have even given 10 pips once you account for spread. Probably about 8.5, 9. Alright, 2.5 minutes left. Let's see. On gold. In gold, we want it right near the low, if not very close to it. DJ can't tap into support. It has to close below its horizontal, and then there might be possible limit orders that low of that bullish candle. Let's just quickly set an alert on gold. Okay, pulling it back up, so let's see. Prefer to trade gold, so maybe let's just keep it on gold. $588. Alright, I'll watch it. Looking at numbers up here on GJ, so it's nowhere near it at the moment. Under 20 seconds remaining, so the limit order is not going to be valid on GJ, and gold needs to drop. The reason why I want it to close bearish engulfing is because then we're going to be pretty much engulfing at 30 as well, so it's not done so. And then we're into bearish wicks as opposed to bullish wicks. So I'm not as concerned by that, but we've closed above the candle that's formed the support just now. So technically, again, as much as I want to try to find a trade, I need to stick to quality. And for me, it's just not good enough to answer. GJ's closed well above that level. So if anyone did take an impulse entry, it would have probably, the way I managed trades, I would have been out break even. What a mess. November has been a bit of a mess in general for me. Sharif, thoughts on this? Observing this upward move, my overall bias remains bearish, and I'm watching for entry points in the breaker at any level within this area. Yep, so this candle has broken out of consolidation, and I'm looking for clear traffic to the left. However, as you can see, it's not the cleanest setup. So we do observe higher highs and higher lows. Higher lows. Yeah, I mean, you could take it. Definitely, you could take it. But what I would suggest in this case is you probably just gotta leave your stop loss above. If that's gonna be a target, it's like a what, about 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5 roughly. And then just trade the range. Simply trade the range. So what you could do is just sell stop the support. But again, for me, I don't like to do that. I like to see how price approaches it, because it could trigger you in just here, for instance, on this candle, and bounce all the way back up. You never know. And if you've tried your stop loss a little bit, you may have even cut partials or whatever. So that's the thing. The way I try to be on the chart and watch it. But even if you were on a chart watching, I suppose you could still manage it. But if I was to trade based off that, just a pure break of support, thinking it's going to come back down to the lows, ignoring that to the left, then I'd probably just, again, stop loss above the high, only consider going to break even, maybe halfway in, so probably about, I don't know, 20 pips plus, I suppose, and then just letting it do its thing. As far as a level, as far as an entry, I can see it, it's not bad, but again, I just rather wait for my confirmation. This makes me more confident and comfortable. But there's nothing wrong with testing it out and all that. There is nothing wrong with trading it if that's what you want to do. But again, it's just a matter of accepting the fact that without the actual confirmation prior to it, we do anything. We just consolidate, and then we could end up praying a higher high again. That's my concern. You got 15 pips from that one. Nice one. Was that when was that? Was that yesterday? Wasn't sure if the traffic to the left from yesterday. Yeah, so the reality is there's always going to be some traffic to the left, isn't there? Because if you cannot find something, you just zoom out and you'll eventually find something. But for me, it's all about just following the rules at the levels and knowing I've got at least enough margin to maybe manage the trade, maybe start securing some profits. Again, it's just what works for me. I don't feel a need to tamper with. If I wanted to hold maybe for an intraday trade or something, then yeah, I think that's actually a really solid entry. And like I mentioned before, I'm looking at some potential new entries for next year. I've been keeping a bit of an eye on, but yeah, I'll go into a lot more testing mode and detail for testing over the Christmas New Year break, the holiday break. What a mess. Charts are really disgusting at the moment. You know what, GJ, me, I wouldn't even bother looking at it just now. This is terrible. Really needs to cut through all this mess now, make clear moves within this range in order for me to trust it again, to start trading within it. Seems like you've been doing really well of late, Sharif, from the results I can see, so that's really good. Very happy to see that. Sharif, honestly, I feel like I've been on fire. It's good. It's great to be confident. Absolutely, that's what you want to be when you're on the charts, because then you just trust yourself. You don't doubt your plan, your rules, your entry. You feel comfortable in every trade. That's fantastic to hear. Yeah, but the thing now for you, it will be how you know, go about it. If you have a little bit of a bad week or two, how you react and come back from that. And I hope it doesn't happen. I hope you remain on fire. That's just the reality. How you pick yourself back up if you do have a little bit of a setback. So like for me right now, November's been a little bit of a setback. Three losses, only the one win, and three break evens, two or three, I can't remember, 2 or 3 break evens. Not that trade, I haven't traded much, obviously. Been very busy, but it doesn't mean I changed anything. Doesn't mean everything's broken, because the year's been fantastic. This has been my best year. In all honesty, it's been really good. But still got plenty of time in November to turn things around, so I'll just keep doing the same thing. But what I mentioned earlier is what I noticed. I deviated a bit from my game plan, and I think every one of those 3 losses I had broke my rule a little bit, some rule, and paid the consequences. So now it's just a matter of chilling, doing things the right way. So very strict at the moment, which has meant it's probably saved me from maybe taking a loss or 2. Probably stopped me from being stopped out break even on a potential GJ sell just before. But it's less stressful because I know I'm following the plan and it's likely to be a quality entry. GJ maybe sell 197348, curl 254. Yeah, below this support, I agree. I think very nice options to sell GJ, 100%. Just need to be patient and wait for it to get to that level. Please smash the like button. Be much appreciated. Gold's a mess. That's what it is at the moment. 2490, it could do anything. Could get down that low for sure, but it could also bounce back up. So golden daily counter order block at 24.90, 25.11. I did mention 25.10 as a potential destination for gold. Yeah, I can see it, but again, could do anything. It's also at a support just now, whatever you want to call order block, support, whatever. So it could bounce off this level still, but for me, there's no confirmation yet that it's going to do that. The only time I trust that it might make a deeper pullback and bounce off this level is once the 30-minute structure flips back bullish, and that won't happen until above 25.65 at this point. As long as it remains below that level, rejects it and keeps breaking levels of support on the way down, then yeah, it could definitely continue down towards that 2500 sort of level. Right, so the last chance is 15-minute needs to close bearish engulfing. Not going to look great on the hourly, but it would close it back bearish, still above the wick of this bullish candle. 30-minute will close back below the support or around that level. It has to be a very strong bearish candle just down 15 for me to consider staying on. So wait around a little bit longer and just see how this candle develops, and if we can perhaps still get involved. GJ is melting at the moment. 11 did you get into any positions this morning? No. I had a few plans in place on GJ sales, but didn't quite tick the box, so which I'm not disappointed about because this has been an absolute mess. And gold, my plan on gold is to wait for 15-minute bearish engulfing. Once again, that is the rule. Minimum has to close below the lowest point of that bullish candle. If that's the case, I'll stick around. If not, likely be calling it. So, waiting for the next just under 10 minutes. If I'll have a look at range trading video again. Yeah, all good. So that's another one. I can break it down into categories as to you know, really A+ catalysts, down to the more impulsive, the more risky catalyst. The only thing is I don't want to confuse all you guys as well, all the members, saying, well, this is valid but it's not the greatest entry, this is valid, this is a better entry, because then you might come, not saying, you know, in individuals, but I'm not saying you guys will, but it might lead to some of you becoming a little bit reckless, validating pretty much any entry. So I'm just going to be quite specific with that, I think. Griff, I think the opposite will stop many of us taking reckless entries. Yeah, possibly. That's a good point. Could. Then it's narrowing it down. Hopefully you guys are focused on the more probable, like the A+ entries. This is what we want to see. We want it to close strong without making the entire move. Obviously, if it can close around the low of that bullish candle, the doji candle wick, that would be fantastic. Around this point would be really nice if that's where it pulls up or stops around somewhere around here. Strong enough, so it suggests that maybe not consolidating, maybe we're ready to head back down. Like I mentioned, if it closes above the lowest point of that bullish candle, then maybe we're just going to consolidate. If it does this, we want it to close significantly below, because that would be enough of a catalyst to suggest that it still may consolidate, but it'd give me enough reason to look for the entry. As long as the new candle creates an upper wick and begins to break low of what I deem to be my catalyst, which is this, potentially this candle, I would trade it based off that. But if it closes as is, again, there is no entry, because this could just be consolidating and it's not valid. Simple as that. Got just under a minute and a half. Who's the low of this candle? Unit closures around 25.54. Yeah, clearing all these wicks, that's, I think, a very solid plan, really solid plan. Safely below that bullish candle low. A really solid plan, to be honest. All right, so it's not gonna, unless it melts in the next 5 seconds, it's not gonna be valid. Yeah. So now that we've left that wick, we may be unscared. I'd see off this 30-minute candle, because that does confirm a support on the M30. So as Sharif mentioned, now I think this becomes the better entry point, and that's around at 25.54, just above that level. Because now just, to me, it's consolidating again, so this becomes a mess. So to prove that it's ready, I'm not interested in buying it. I'm just don't want to buy it. It's in superior downtrend, rather wait for the strong catalyst, that being the M30 flipping bullish above 25.65. Otherwise, I'd be looking for the sell options. It's either upon the pullback or rejection higher up, or now closure below 25.54.30 roughly. GJ, for me, it's not tradable, in all honesty. It's rubbish right now. That support, but you got these wicks, gonna make it mess on 15. It's just consolidating. It's, yeah, I wouldn't be going close to GJ at the moment unless it starts pop below 197.32 roughly, or a nice clean move up and rejection of the highs as well. That's pretty much it. I'd be looking at GJ. So that's it, guys. Looking gold now, bouncing back up. So I'm gonna leave it for the time being, and that is the end of the week for the stream. Yeah, unfortunately won't have time tomorrow, guys, but not a bad week. I mean, just that one day, it was all the action with the win and loss on that one particular day. Do appreciate the support throughout, nevertheless. If you've not subscribed, because some of you who do watch aren't subscribed, if you could, that'd be much appreciated. If you could hit like on the way out, that'll also be much appreciated. Guys, what else? Make sure to be following me on IG, TikTok, all that stuff. Yeah, and links to any of the services down below if anyone is interested. Feel free to send me a message, and always feel free to say good day to me. I always reply to any message. How am I ending the week percent wise? It was just above break even, because it took a loss in the first trade of that particular day, and I just covered it and just covered the commission on a second trade, literally. So just above break even, basically break even. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's a wrap. So well done on, if you had the discipline and patience to stay out of what has been a really choppy market today. Well done to you. It will help you go a long way moving forward. Trust me, if you can follow your plan, everything else will eventually fall into place. Members, I will do an update video for you guys a little bit later on. Yeah, and we'll be in touch with you in the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, members. Just end that call. And YouTube, appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Beats, as always. Lemon, thank you, mate. And Sharif, everyone else in there. Appreciate you guys. Take care. Catch you guys on Monday on stream. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.